Hi, so we're going to take a look at adding a kind of a section into our Google site. So we're working on our project portfolio site, or our engineering portfolio site. So we're going to go ahead and get to the sites area of Google. We're going to click on Google Sites. We're going to click on our site that we actually want to edit. We're going to open up a tab for previewing the page as a viewer. Okay, so now we have our editable page, we have our previewing the page as a viewer. Okay, so so the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to start to add in kind of another section. So we kind of have our introduction section done, and now we're going to add in our project section. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and add a page. So because this is going to be a section of the website, we kind of need to have a top level page. Alright, we're going to put this under the top level. We're going to go ahead and click Create. And then we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add in kind of we need a photograph kind of on the first page. So notice that when we went to introduction, we kind of want to make every top level page look kind of similar, right? So on our introduction, we have a picture of ourselves, we have kind of some text, and so under projects, we want to have some text just introducing that section of the website. So we're going to go ahead on the projects page, we're going to say page settings, and we're going to do links to subpages, allow attachments, and allow comments. On this one, we could do show links to subpages. I'm not a huge fan of the way Google Sites does this, but let's go ahead and leave that linked in this case. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. Alright, now we're going to go over to Google, and we're going to actually find an image that we can use for our projects page. So we're actually going to search the word project. Once again, you can use any image that you want here. And of course, we have to do the search tools, we have to do usage rights, and we have to use labeled for non-commercial use. And really, any project will, any picture will do, or just kind of adding in something that will let us kind of show that it's about projects. So look at this. We have a Gantt chart here. Great thing to do a project about. So let's go ahead and save image as. In this case, the image is pretty small already, so we're just going to use it straight away. So we're going to go ahead and edit our page. Much like our introduction, so if I click cancel, I go back to our introduction. We did not use the original title of the page. In this case, we will. And under our projects, we're going to go ahead and edit the page again. And let's talk about, let's actually make a section just called engineering. In general, you'd want to make this a sub area of your engineering portfolio. So say you did different projects of different types of engineering. So maybe you did software engineering, and maybe you did mechanical engineering. And you just want to talk a little bit, so maybe you did some projects or project work that isn't going to be displayed, that isn't going to be displayed on the site, or you want to talk about your philosophy of projects in general, something like that. So some introduction to the type of project work you've done. We're going to go ahead and match our font. So remember that we made our font, our top level font was 12 point and bold. So we want to do that in both places, 12 point and bold. I'm just going to put in kind of placeholder text here. So remember, I'm going to go get my dummy text, right? I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to make sure that all that is 12 point as well, because that's kind of what we settled on for our site. It's usually better to go a little bit big, just for readability. Otherwise, your site kind of starts looking like a your user agreement rather than content. So Okay, so we have our text here. Now we're going to go ahead and insert our image. So we go insert image. We're going to upload an image. We're going to go find the image that we just downloaded. We're going to click open. And we're going to do a couple of, you usually do want to put alt text for your images. This is for accessibility for people with disabilities. No one's really going to check, but you might run into a case where if it's for a web design job, they might check that you put alt text. So it's a good thing to do. So okay, now we're going to format it, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put just medium, right? They kind of give these sizes. They're kind of simplified, which is kind of nice for us. So we're going to put wrap as on, okay, and then we're going to go ahead and click save. Okay, so this is what we get. So we get kind of our project's introduction page, right? Okay, and this might take a little bit of time for you to do your introduction to the projects. You're talking about just your experience with projects. This should be no less than 3 or 4 sentences per section. So you want to write a good, solid paragraph. It's as much as a placeholder as it is for content. So it just needs to be there for the structure of the site mainly. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create our first kind of project section. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create kind of an overview of an initial project. So we're going to create a project page, right? So we're going to click a plus. So this particular project was is about this micro Arduino, okay? And I did let's pretend that we did a project where we reviewed this micro Arduino for class, and I did a project on it, and now I want to display that project because the work that I'm doing is, say, a user experience or design or something like that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and create this. We're gonna call it product review micro Arduino. Okay, and we're gonna create it under projects. And we're going to click create. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to create an overview of the project. So on every project page, we want to do a project kind of a description. Okay, so we're going to title it project description. And remember that the person coming in has no reference point to what you do or what your work is. I mean, that's why they're on the site, right? So we're going to go ahead and put in just a project description. Once again, it's probably 3 to it's 1 or 2 paragraphs, probably 4 or 5 sentences a paragraph, and that would be enough. So project description here. Okay. Also, we're going to go ahead and put a picture in. In this case, our picture is going to be a little bit different. So we're actually going to kind of put it in 2 places. So okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to get kind of a nice picture that's going to fill up like half the page. Okay, so if this was a physical project that you made, it would be a photograph of that project. If it was an online thing, this would be a screenshot of the project, right? So in this case, it's a review, so we're going to do a screenshot of the thing that we reviewed. So let's go over how to do a screenshot. So we're going to do get to the page that you want to take a picture of. Okay, now you wouldn't do a link to this page. Okay, and the reason why you wouldn't do a link is that the internet is notoriously impermanent, right? So if you put a link, it's just going to be gone in a year or in 2 years, or this portfolio site is you're archiving your work. So you don't want to put anything on here that you don't have control of. So the only files that you want to put into your portfolio are things that you are saving on your drive. You don't want to link to any external content. Any content that you have, you want to have that is safe and sound on your Google Drive that's never going to change unless you change it. Okay, so you don't want to be at the whim of somebody else who might take down something. So even if it's a group project, you want to get you want to get control of those files, and you want to archive those files into your Google Drive and then post them onto your Google site. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the Snipping Tool. So in Windows 8, I go to the Start menu and I do Snipping Tool. Comes up, click on the Snipping Tool. We're going to kind of move it out of the way. We're going to click New, and I'm just going to take a nice screenshot here of our page. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to call it Product Review Microduino. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't really matter where I'm going to save it because I'm going to put it up on Google Drive anyways. So I save it to my desktop. Okay, now so I have my image here, and remember that when I say Google Drive, you can put on your Google site too. It's not going to go anywhere either. So in this case, it's just an image, so we can go ahead and just put it right directly into Google Sites instead of routing it through Google Drive. So I'm back here on Google Sites. I put my cursor next to product description. I put insert image. I'm going to go ahead and click upload image. Okay, I'm going to click it, so then I'm going to add alt text, and I'm going to call it Microduino Kickstarter page. I'm going to click OK. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right align it, and I'm going to turn on text wrap. Okay. Also, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make it a large image, but it's not going to be so large, right? So that's, we kind of get this this look to our page. So we're going to go ahead and click Save, and then we can go ahead and take a look here at our site. So now we have kind of the sites kind of coming together. So we have this product review of our Microduino. We do preview pages viewer. All right, so there we have it. And oops, my page settings turned off. So remember, we want to go into page settings. This is a really easy thing to forget. That's why I do it usually when we create a new page. Uncheck allow comments, uncheck allow attachments, click save. Also, you'll notice one error that I made here. I did not. I did bold my project description. That's fine. Okay. All right. So we've got our kind of introductory page for our project, and now we're going to add subpages. So let's go ahead, and this is where I would start to add my actual work. So in general, you want to only post Google Docs, PDFs, or videos. So say that I had a website, I would post a video to that website, right? So for example, I wouldn't post a link to the website. I would take a screen capture video of me demonstrating the website. So in general, if it's an online thing or it's some kind of software, you do a video of you demoing the software. If it's a device or physical project that you built, it would be a video or screenshot or photograph of you demonstrating that product or that device or that project. Okay. All right. So here we have it. We got this product review site. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to add another page. Oops. Sorry, we're going to add another page. This time we're going to put it under product review, right? So in this case, we're going to put, remember that we don't have to name each page, right? A subsequent name, like we wouldn't name it product review Microduino and then something else. The user's going to know that it's part of the product review for the Microduino because of the where you're going to place it on the website. So the actual name of your page doesn't need to describe the location relative to the website, only what is on the page. So let's go ahead and put product review presentation. We could even call this presentation. And click create. Okay, we want to go straight in and do the page settings as usual. Uncheck allow comments, uncheck allow attachments. In this case, this is going to be the bottom level page, so we want to unclick show links to subpages and click save. Okay, then we're going to go in and edit it, and we're going to add in our presentation. So we're going to click insert, click drive, click document. Okay, and if we go over, let me just kind of show you where this is located. So if we go over to Google Drive, we're going to click, this is in another area, right? So one thing that I definitely want to do is I want to make copies of things, and so if it's in my drive in Portfolio of Engineering, what I want to do is I want to just keep everything in one place. Okay, so if I end up deleting something outside of here, I know that all the files that I use are in this one folder. So I'm going to create folder in projects. Okay, and then after this is kind of up to you. You can just dump everything into your projects folder. You can create separate folders for each project. In my case, I'm going to create separate folders just because that's the way I like to do things. Okay, I'm going to click create, and then I'm going to go to this class, right, where I actually stored the originals, and I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of these originals. So of course this is just an example presentation, so I'm going to click make a copy. I'm going to check both files. I'm going to click make a copy. Okay, and they're copying right now. Okay, and notice they're named copy of, right? So we're going to have to rename them. So we click the copy of on both things. We're going to drag them over to projects. Okay, so now we can go to projects. We can click both. I could have done this in one step, but so we're going to drag them into product review for the micro Arduino. Okay, I'm going to check it. We're going to click more. We're going to click rename. We're going to delete that copy of because we don't need it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check the other one. Click more. Click rename. Take off that copy of also. Click OK. Alright, now we have kind of our two files that we're going to use. So notice that now I have this inside my Portfolio Engineering folder. I have my introduction, I have my projects, and then I have subfolders for each project. Okay, so you want to be very organized on how you keep folders. Remember that you're archiving stuff that you're going to be using for years to come, right? So you want to make sure that you have those files safe and sound and they're not going anywhere. Okay, so we get back to our Google site, and now we're going to click Insert. We're going to click, one last thing. So the safest thing to do here on this Portfolio Engineering site is just to share the whole thing. Okay, so let's go back to Google Drive. We click on My Drive. We click on Portfolio Engineering, and we're going to assume that we're not going to put anything in here that we don't want shared. So we're going to click on Share, and we're just going to share the entire folder and all of its subfolders and all of its files. So we're going to click Advanced Options, Change, and we're going to share it for anyone with a link. Okay, I'm not sure why that gave us an error. Let's close a tab or two. Let's just click Share again. Okay, and there it went. Okay, so now it is shared. Okay, so we're going to go to back to our page that we're editing. Remember, we're going to go to Insert, Google Drive Document. And the weird thing about this is that now that we have copies, we don't really know where their copies are. So if this one's product review, this is product review also. So the safest thing for us to do is actually use the web address of the share. So we're going to click down into the folder. We're going to find the actual file we want to share. Here's our presentation. We're going to click on the sharing button, and we can go ahead and copy that link, click done. We'll go back to the page where we're sharing it. We paste in the address here and click select. Uncheck the title, uncheck the border, and we're going to make it large. And click save. Okay, we're going to save the page. And now we have our presentation. Okay, and notice that it's in nice Google Slides here. So this is where a person would come and actually view the presentation. Okay, so now let's take a look. We're going to go back. So we've added our presentation. Let's take a look at how Google displays our subpages, right? So the subpages links are down at the bottom. Okay, so we have our kind of our subpage listings down here, but notice that there's no way that anyone's going to find that. There's just no way that anyone's going to find this navigation all the way at the bottom of the page. It would be very surprising to me if they did. Okay, so what we're going to do is on this product review, on this main product review page, we're going to go ahead and edit the page. We're going to insert a subpage listing. Okay. Now what you want to do here is we want to take out the width so it's 100%. We want to make it go across the top, and we want to delete the text out of here to remove the title. Okay, and we're going to click Save. And what that's going to give us when we click Save is that's going to give us this nice bar across the top. Now it doesn't make much sense when there's only one page, but when there's more than one page, it's going to make a lot more sense. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add our second page. So we're going to add a new page. We're going to put it under product review, right? Notice that whatever page you're on, if you put add new page, it puts it on as a sub page of whatever page you're on. And we're going to call this universal design. Okay. We're going to click create. And again, we're going to put in a Google Doc. So we're going to go we're going to go back to our Google Drive tab. We're going to click share. And we're going to go ahead and copy the link, click done. And we're going to go ahead and insert drive and document. And then we're going to paste in our web address, click select. Remember our height. In this case, the document's going to be really long. Okay, so the trick here is if the document's really long, you want it to go on. If the document's not that long, you want to be able to reduce the number of scroll bars that are displayed on the page. Okay, in our case, the document is both long. Okay, so it's like 3 pages long, and there's going to be a scroll bar to the right because of the layout. Okay, so let's try to minimize those scroll bars. So let's go back to edit. Okay, because it's only 3 pages, let's go ahead and make the height 3000. Okay, and let's click save, and let's see what that does for us. Okay, so in this case, there's still going to be a left-hand scroll bar, but as we go down, what that's going to allow us to do is the person will be able to see the majority of the document. And you're not going to get the effect of having 3 scroll bars on one page, which would be pretty difficult to view. Okay, we're going to change it to 2500, click save. Okay. So that's it for this page. So you can't see the entire thing. If somebody wanted to, they could scroll over. They'd have to scroll down and then scroll over, but that's not a huge deal on a portfolio site. So you'll notice that you can see the majority of the document. Oops. Okay, and you're able to scroll. So okay, so that's our next page. So let's go back to Product Review Micro Arduino. And notice that now we have these sub pages, right? Now that I'm looking at how Google kind of lists these, let's go ahead and edit it again. We're actually going to put a title for this, and we're going to put Project Pages. Okay, we're going to click Save. Save again. Okay, so we have our project pages here. Right? Okay, so and we could reduce the number of size on here. So let's go ahead and edit one more time. Let's see what happens if we drag this image up before it. Click save, and one last time to edit. We're actually going to remember when we drag, it resets the flow and the alignment of the image. So let's click. So we're going to right justify it and make the flow correct. So now notice the project pages sit kind of to the left of the image. So okay, so those are our 2 pages for the product review. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add a so we have our kind of presentation, our universal design. We're going to go ahead and add a video in. Now this video, it's better if it's you, a screencast like the one you're watching now, of you demoing it or going to the product page and talking about it. In this case, we're just going to download the actual promotional video. Okay, you just want to be careful that you don't take credit. If it's not your video, it should be clear that it's not your video, right? So, so we went to this Micro Arduino page. I installed an extension for Chrome, where when you start playing the video, that it allows you to download it. Oops. And just believe me, if I click download, it will download. So I did that earlier. So it's this MP4. Okay, so remember that you don't want to link to anything. So even though it gives you embed text, you don't want to embed it here. Okay, and it's a promotional video, so they're not going to have a problem with you using their video because it promotes their product, right? And it's something that they control. They made it. It's not you creating something or taking credit for it. So let's go back to our Google Drive. So all I'm going to do is I've got the video file. Okay, so I'm not linking to anything. So I know that it's going to be here in, in 2 years. So basically I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to call it microarduino.mp4. Oops, and my folder settings are set so I don't need to use the file extension in my case. You can tell because none of the other files show their file extensions. So I'm going to pull this over. I'm going to upload and share. I'm going to uncheck convert. Okay, it's going to take a couple seconds to upload. Okay, so while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and remember that it's going to automatically share it, right? So because everything in the folder is shared. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to go ahead and create my page here. So I'm going to put new page, and I'm going to put promotional video. Okay, so a person can kind of get a sense of the product, right? It's just one more thing for the project that I did. I'm going to put it under product review, and I'm going to click create. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert Google Drive, and I'm going to put video. And notice I have a Micro Arduino right here, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to not include the title, not include the border. The width, I'm going to go ahead, it's kind of a sticky wicket here. So the width, I want to make it 600, or let's say 700, okay? But I want to pay attention to how much I do on this. So it's going to be limited by the limiting, whatever its aspect ratio is, which means the ratio between height and width of the video. That will be limited based upon the smaller of the two, width or height. So anyway, what I'm saying is you want to match it kind of as closely as possible to this original aspect ratio, or you're going to have a lot of black area around the video. So I'm going to make it 700. I'm going to increase this to 350. I'm going to go ahead and click save, and save again. Okay, and basically Google Drive will process the video. If, even in the case where Google Drive can't process the video, it's still going to give this no preview available and download, which is fine. So let's go ahead. We're going to set the page settings. We're going to disallow attachments, disallow subpages, disallow comments, click save. We're going to go back in and edit. Oops. We're going to edit the page, and we're going to go ahead and add a description. There's no description. Cancel. Let's check if there's a description in the... That's interesting. There's no place to put a description in here. Oh, maybe it's in details. Oh, here it is, the description. Okay, so we can go in, we can edit the description in Google Drive. So this is a micro Arduino promotional video produced by micro Arduino for Kickstarter. So you just want to be careful. The reason why we're taking time to do this is that you want to be careful not to take credit for anything that's not yours, especially on a portfolio site. So somebody could easily think that, oh, you know, this person created this video, which is not the case. So you want to be careful not to take credit for something that's not yours. Okay, so here we have it. So we went ahead and displayed the video. So we get this kind of nice video right here on our screen. Okay, so let's take a look at our final product here. So we have our product review page, where, you know, our project page. We have our product review micro Arduino, right? And then we have a link to our project pages. One thing that we do want to do, because we have our links at the top, we want to take off the links at the bottom. Just click save. Notice that now our links are gone at the bottom, and we kind of a nice project area now. Okay, so that is how we're going to be adding projects to our portfolio site. Good luck.